Hi guys, my name is Blake. Welcome. I wanted to talk about the books that I want to read by the end of the year. These are kind of my top priority series, but this is not a comprehensive list of everything that I will be reading. I'm just going to slide these in when I get the chance. I'm in the middle of quite a few series, so I would really like to finish some things off. But the first series that I would like to get to is the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. I know that it's hugely popular. There are so many people out there who love the series. It's a lot of people's favorites. It got a lot of people into fantasy, but unfortunately I missed out on it the first go around. So I'm really excited to actually get into it. I know that there is a magic coat and alternate Londons, but that's enough to pique my interest. And I feel like V.E. Schwab is really good at writing atmosphere. I would also like to get to Tyrant's Throne by Sebastian de Castell. And this is the fourth and final book in the Greatcoat series. And I have had the strangest reading experience with the Greatcoats. I read the first book, didn't like it. Read the second book and enjoyed it. Read the third book, absolutely loved it. So at this trajectory, I'm predicting that book 4 is going to be pretty good. And I'm really looking forward to finishing off this series. I will be kind of disappointed when it ends, honestly, because book 3 resolved a lot of the questions and issues I had with the series, and it fixed some of my issues from book 1 that had been carried throughout the series were fixed in book 3. So I am interested in going on to book 4 because I'm hopefully thinking that it's going to be the best one in the series. Next, I have Ruin and Wrath, which are the third and fourth books in the Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. I thought that the first book was okay and recently read the second one. I was just going to give myself 100 pages to see if I wanted to continue on with the series, and I ended up really enjoying book 2. So for whatever reason, the change between books 1 and books 2 was really significant, I thought. The writing style improved a lot. I cared about the characters. I loved the world more. I felt like the plot and the story was just coming together, and I'm really looking forward to books 3 and 4 because there were some really great standout characters in book 2. And up next, I have some Brandon Sanderson books. Brandon Sanderson is one of my all-time favorite authors. He got me into adult fantasy, and this really is the year of Sanderson for me. I did not back the Kickstarter, but I have been reading a ton of Sanderson this year. I need to read The Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages to round out Mistborn Era 1, and I would also like to read Elantris. I have been putting these off because I've heard some people, have some complaints about Well of Ascension or Hero of Ages. Some people didn't like book 2, some people didn't like book 3. Some people have mixed feelings about the end of that series. And I know some people don't like Elantris. I've seen a lot of people say that they think it's Sanderson's weakest Cosmere work. I also think I spoiled Mistborn Era 1 for myself because I read Rhythm of War before reading Mistborn Era 1, and there was something, or I read The Final Empire and then I read Rhythm of War because I didn't want to wait. And there was something on the very last page of Rhythm of War that I was like, wait a second. Is this other character? Because that should not be possible. So I have a lot of feelings. I'm hoping that I will get some answers. I don't think it's going to hurt my reading experience knowing that spoiler, if it is what I think it is, but I just want to know how we get to that point. So that's what I want to see. I also have Heir of Novron by Michael J. Sullivan, and this is the final bind-up that wraps up that trilogy of bind-ups. There are 6 books, and this is books 5 and 6 is what I'm trying to say. And I know that Evertide, the first book in this bind-up, is based on Christmas. So I'm saving it to read at Christmas time. So that is when I will be picking this one up. I don't know if it's Evertide or Eventide, but I know that it is their equivalent of Christmas in this world. So I've been wanting to save it for that event. I tend to stay up all night on Christmas Eve and read books. That's just something that my mom and I do. And I have decided already that I'm saving this book for that moment. I would also like to finish up the Keepers trilogy by David Dalglish. I just finished book 1, and books 2 and 3 are pretty short. I had a good time reading book 1, but I flew through the first book. So with books 2 and 3 being shorter, I think that I can get through those fairly quickly. And lastly, I would like to finish up the first Lost Standalones by Joe Abercrombie. And I just finished reading Best Served Cold last month. And I would like to continue on with The Heroes and Red Country. This is probably what has kicked off my series binge reading, because I read First Law and I read all of the books back to back. And I loved seeing how things built off of the previous books. Let me know what books you want to read by the end of the year, or if you've read any of these, because I would love to know. And I'll see you again with another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.